TCU shocked everyone this year, making it all the way up to the big game before getting pummeled by the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, they showed that there is still a path for long shots out there. And now that the transfer portal is raging like a Hardly Boys clue, they won't be the last. Now, with what they're losing now, I'm not banking on TCU to get there next year. But there is one candidate out there with some similarities that has been down and out, but has the potential to go all the way. We've seen it before. They also will have a first-year coach, and that is Auburn. And I know, I'm from Auburn, so go ahead in the comments, say whatever you want. But just remember, Hugh Freeze has already started supplementing the offensive and defensive line of scrimmage. Okay, you look at getting Avery Johnson, the center from East Carolina yesterday, who was going to transfer to Illinois. That was huge. And we all know the potential that Auburn has. Now, they differ from TCU in that they've been there and they've won that before. But with a decade gone by since their last appearance and their two arch rivals, Georgia and Alabama, fighting the Klingons for interstellar domination, the time is nigh. Now, they're going to be slept on in the preseason, and they should be. Expectations need to be earned, and they haven't earned anything yet. But we know how the chip on the shoulder mentality from not only the players, but new head coach Hugh Freeze can pay big dividends even when going against all odds. They play Bama and Georgia at home, and yes, the schedule is truly a murderer's row once again. Now, will we see another huge surprise in the playoff next year? Who really knows? But don't be shocked if Auburn makes it weird late in the year. Is there a team, and there's a couple, Spencer Rattler coming back, as we mentioned, off the top. South Carolina, I know Shane's not in his first year, but they could be a team to really elevate their status. But is there a team out there, David, that you're looking at out of the periphery that could come in there and pull a Sonny Dykes?
I have a couple questions first. So hold on. Are you saying that Auburn's going to get to the championship next year and then lose by 58?
Nothing would surprise me with Auburn.
Okay, wait, but would you...
What's the worst way they could break my heart?
Would you trade that? Would you have traded a 13-win season this year to go to the national championship and lose by 58? Or you're like, man, that's so bad it would be a net negative.
To who?
To Georgia.
I can't. No. There's no coming back and getting beaten 58.
No.
I'd
rather. I'm glad Auburn did what they did this year so they could get Brian Harsin out. Like, sometimes it's just good to get the divorce. Okay? But there's a bunch that I think about. I'm not calling Florida State a dark horse. I've got him. I released my early top 10. I got him at number 3 yesterday.
TCU would have been, that was such a dark horse. Like I told you guys yesterday, if you gave me 3 opportunities, if you said a team from Texas will make the national title, you get 3 guesses, I still would have gotten it wrong.
Yeah, Texas A&M, or Baylor.
Or Houston even.
Or Houston,
Like if you said there's a long shot team from Texas, I probably would have taken Houston after we saw Cincinnati. Maybe they won a group of 5 team in there. What TCU did was incredible. So that level dark horse.
What about Wisconsin?
That level dark horse.
What about Wisconsin, the Big Ten? First-year head coach Luke Fickell.
They are in the West.
I mean, you're going to have an opportunity. You're going to actually throw the ball and catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. People in Wisconsin aren't going to know what to do.
Again, to your point, though, you couldn't, Notre Dame wouldn't be.
Utah's not one. You can't
Notre
say
Dame with Hartman coming.
Oregon State, maybe?
Are we trying to relevate the dark horse to TCU kind of dark horse?
Well, yeah, just that comes out of left field.
Maybe Kansas State?
But Kansas State made the Big 12 championship game. Yeah, it's not like TCU was not expected to do anything this year. You're coming off a year where you fired the head of the program, literally, in Gary Patterson, the guy that's you think about Gary Patterson, you think about TCU, you think about TCU, you think about Gary Patterson. Is there a team in the comments? By the way, go ahead and subscribe. We're on the race to 40K. We're almost there. I think we're at 39.6. Hit that like button as well. Follow us on all social medias. But I'm just, ACC-wise, like I said.
Miami?
Miami would again, year 2
with as bad as they did this year. Miami as a program, you never think of the brand Miami as being a dark horse.
North Carolina made the ACC championship game. I'm talking about somebody that comes out of nowhere. That literally comes out of nowhere. Because TCU, guys, has there ever been a bigger... I think TCU was a bigger dark horse to make the playoff than Cincinnati was 2 years ago. And Cincinnati's in the group of 5.
That is true because they did have some brand recognition from the year prior.
Yeah, and look where they were ranked in the preseason. They were expected to do that or have a chance to do that. So it's interesting looking kind of as the last year of the 14 playoff, because we're getting into the 12-team playoff. Who could be that last team to maybe sneak in there and come out of nowhere? So in the comments, let us know kind of what you think. If there's a team out there that you may think will come out of left field. But Spencer Rattler, guys, coming back to South Carolina. I know Marshawn Lloyd's going to USC, which is huge for the Trojans, who are going to keep Alex Grinch on the defensive side, which I agree with. I do think eventually Lincoln's going to figure it out defensively. Jaheim Bell goes to Florida State, but South Carolina getting Spencer Rattler back, it gives you instant credibility in the portal too. We have to understand that. Now, if maybe I'm a receiver that's coming out late or hasn't decided yet, I got to go play with a quarterback that can get me the ball. Spencer Rattler showed you, especially at the end of the year, you can continue to play like that they could put up some big numbers and you could really elevate yourself, like in Osiris Torrance, who went from the Sun Belt to Florida. I know that was a guard. We're not talking about wide receivers, but guys want to up their profiles if they're not coming from other Power 5 schools. So it gives South Carolina some instant credibility going into next year, and I find that team a little bit fascinating as well, Blaine.
I do too. I mean, the thing about Spencer Rattler is, like, the kid's got he's got everything you need as a quarterback.
He's got more tools than Home Depot.
Yeah.
He's got to keep.
He's got a 50 cal on his shoulder. He can absolutely sling the pill. But what's always been the knock with Spencer Rattler's consistency. Mm-hmm. And you see the highs and lows throughout the season. I mean, hell, South Carolina, you beat number 2 Tennessee. You go beat Clemson. You see the mountaintop. You see what you become. And South Carolina, if South Carolina gets rolling, they're a scary team.
That's what I said.
Especially with Beamer on special teams. You never know what you're getting into. There's nothing harder, especially as a coordinator or the head coach, to already be worried about a quarterback that's phenomenal, a defense that plays hard, but a special teams that you never know what's going to happen. One, they're going to do their job, the routine stuff, the routine punts, the routine field goals, but you know there's some witchery behind it. There's some Hogwarts stuff behind it, so you got to watch for that. If Spencer Rattler can day in and out, play to the level that he needs to play, don't do too much and don't play hero ball, just be himself. I wouldn't be surprised if you see South Carolina start competing in the East.
Yeah, I wonder where they're going to be ranked in the preseason. That's preseason rankings, and we do it. We make our preseason rankings. I don't even think there should be preseason rankings. I think they should wait till week 4 to release the first AP poll or whatever. But you said a word in there, In-N-Out. Gentlemen, In-N-Out Burger is coming to Nashville. I don't know if you
Tennessee.
saw that. I'm very excited. I had it one time. It was a long time ago when we went to play San Diego State. So I'm, again, animal sauce, secret menu, look me in the eyes. Are we mind-mouthing? I'm excited about this.
Well, it's not just a one-off restaurant. The headquarters.
Wait, what?
Headquarters coming to Tennessee.
They're going to put the headquarters in Nashville?
Governor Bill Lee said something about it yesterday.
Auburn grad.
Yeah.
Governor Bill Lee.
On Spencer Rattler, though, yeah, I mean, the question is never I say the question's never been about his on-field talent. He hasn't performed exceptionally well towards the end of his Oklahoma career and in some games at South Carolina, but it's always been more of a focus on character issues and can he remain focused. Mm-hmm. I think Shane Beamer is the perfect coach for Spencer Rattler. That's why when he came in, I said, this is going to be a great situation. Even if Spencer Rattler doesn't light it on fire, it's great for Shane Beamer to be able to tell people around the country, look at the type of players that I can bring in, and I'm going to get the most out of them because, like you said about NBA coaches, I can control egos. That's a skill set that I have as Shane Beamer. So if you have a top quarterback recruit coming out of high school, and Shane Beamer is one of the best recruiters in the country, and you have a kid who's deciding, well, I have an offer from Texas, I have an offer from Alabama, I have an offer from Georgia, and I have an offer from South Carolina, and I really, really like Shane Beamer. Mm-hmm. They're not just automatically going to default to the bigger brands anymore because they're going to see what Spencer Rattler has been able to do there, make some plays, win some big games, and then that combined with the fact that Shane Beamer is a likable players coach is going to get a lot of big-time players in there.
I agree 100%. In the Booster Club, tell us, are you a Spencer Rattler fan? Do you believe? And let me know your dark horse team to make the 14 playoff. YouTube, what's up? We're on a subscriber raise. Help us out. Make sure you sub, turn that notification bell on, and hit like on any of these videos. We'd really appreciate it. And it'll put you on the nice list for Santa Claus early this year.